What up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Mostly Movies podcast with Nick and Christian. He's Nick, I'm Christian, coming to you live from the Airbnb at an undisclosed location. And today, the movie we're mostly discussing is Friendship. What a nice thing.
Is friendship.
Just a sweet theme, starring Tim Robinson and Paul Rudd. But before we get into all that, as always, please head over to screengods.com for all of Nick's latest movie reviews and our full library of podcast episodes. You can find it all at thescreengods.com. And, of course, you can always find us on YouTube, TikTok, Spotify, IG, and X for more clips, reels, and other fun content. Nick, I'm feeling good. I got Mission Impossible 4 rocking right now.
During the pod? You're multitasking right now?
Well, it's on. I got the captions going, but yeah, Ghost Protocol. Felt weird coming out of that theater.
Exit vibes were strange. Before we continue, it says, Riverside app says Tim Robinson Crash Out has Riverside open and other tabs. Do you have other tabs with Riverside open, Tim Robinson?
Maybe. What about now?
We'll find out. I'll close it for now. All right. Anyway.
I just closed
guys.
it. I just closed it,
cool.
so we're all good.
All right. Yeah.
Cool,
so
breaking the fourth wall.
Breaking the fourth wall. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, man, I did an instant reaction for us on TikTok. You can catch that there, as well as is on Instagram and on X, the Everything app. It's all happening over at X.
Boy, is it ever right now.
Woo, it's popping over there. And yeah, my exact reaction was, there are no words, and I didn't say anything in my reaction.
Yeah,
it was just me looking at the camera like this. I don't know. I'll quickly try my best, for those of you who haven't seen the trailer, or in some cases, even if you have, to quickly summarize the plot very concisely, and then Christian will go to Christian for commentaries. This movie stars Paul Rudd, who I think who also executive produced it, and then Tim Robinson, which that guy's face does not match his name at all. I keep wanting to think Tim Robbins, and it's throwing me off. But anyway, so the premise of this movie is Tim Robinson. If you're not familiar with his work, don't ask me because I've barely seen him. Christian can comment on where he's from. He's weird sketch comedy stuff, right?
Yeah, it's called I Think You Should Leave on Netflix, and it's hilarious. If you haven't seen it, do yourself a favor, go watch it.
Okay. So he's the main guy along with Paul Rudd, and it centers around his character, who is, I guess the best way to explain it is, he is a socially awkward imbecile who's trying to live a normal life and seems to be doing okay until he meets, I don't know about okay, but he's somehow making it happen, sort of, even though he's clearly an imbecile. And he meets this neighbor, which is Paul Rudd, who invites him over for like one hang, and somehow he latches on to Paul Rudd's character as like his bestie after like a day, and it sort of uncorks his already social disorder that has kind of been dormant. And then he just makes a series of really strange and quirky and wrong decisions that it oftentimes are hilarious. I'll save the color for you because I got plenty of thoughts on it, but that's really the thing. That you're kind of along for the ride, watching him sort of spiral in a quirky and sometimes comedic way. And that's really it. There is no, in my opinion, there is no message really to this movie whatsoever. I could be wrong. We'll see what Christian has to say. So how did you feel about this movie overall? What were your expectations going in? Did you have any?
Well,
did this meet them?
No, it didn't. Let's start there. No, it didn't. I've been very excited about this movie for, almost not a year. And I saw that when they announced they were making this movie last year. Mm-hmm. So I've been a fan of Tim Robinson for a few years now because of I Think You Should Leave. And he also has a show called The Detroiters, which is really good, which was on Comedy Central. There's only like 2 seasons of it, but it's also really good too. But so this is his first movie. No, it didn't go well. The trailer did a good job of what I thought was a good job of not showing you where this movie leads. Turns out it doesn't go anywhere. So it did, in fact, show you the entire movie, which is really funny looking back on it now. I thought it was going to be a dark comedy thriller. That's what I gathered from the trailer. This was not that at all. It was basically just showing a man completely spiral out of control really the only reason is because his marriage is a mess because his wife had cancer and just beat it, and they're obviously tapped out, and so but that's really the only thing. His son doesn't really like him either. That's I guess the other thing. He doesn't have any friends, but to warrant just, and that's why my name is Tim Robinson Crash Out, but just to warrant the decision making is just, and that's why if you haven't seen I Think You Should Leave, I would recommend you watch it before seeing this movie, because it probably makes a lot more sense, because it did just seem like one big skit from that show.
I see.
At the end of it, that's kind of how that show is too. You're just kind of like, what the fuck? You know, that's kind of his brand of comedy. It's just him kind of freaking the fuck out. But no, so I thought I thought Paul Rudd was gonna be much more involved. He really wasn't. His character, it really wasn't. Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was going to be more of a dark thriller and kind of go that route, but no, it's just one man spiraling out of control. And like you said, in somewhat a lot of funny ways, but then also a lot of awkward ways too, which is also his brand of comedy, is just that awkward, tension. So yeah, I don't know. Again, I don't know how to feel. The first act was great. And then this first half of the second act was okay, and then it just completely falls apart. It just goes off a fucking cliff. But yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed it. I love Tim Robinson. I hope whatever he does next, he's involved in the writing process of it. And I hope it's more of probably his project, because I think it'd probably be a lot better. Because I don't think he didn't write, or I don't think he wrote it all for this movie. So,
well, I know that Paul Rudd produced it. Let me see who the actual writers were on this. Looks like, it's written by somebody named Andrew DeYoung. This is his directorial debut. I should also mention that it stars Kate Mara, who interesting fun fact about her later. But not a ton of, maybe I'm wrong. Paul Rudd, I guess he didn't produce this, is not listed on the producer's list. I thought he was, but I guess not. Anyway, so okay. They call it a black comedy, and so what I said, so it's funny, your reaction, I definitely wanted to hear what your expectations were, because Christian, he obviously knows who Tim Robinson is. I've never seen a single thing Tim Robinson has done. Didn't even know who he was, and so Christian showed me I had to Google him, and I recognized the face, but I'm not really too sure why, because I really haven't seen him in anything, so it must have just been in passing or something.
It's definitely from memes.
Yeah, probably from memes or something like that. But anyway, so I didn't have it wasn't. I kept saying to Christian all week, I'm like, I haven't seen any previews for this. But then there was like a couple of scenes early in the movie. I'm like, you know what? I do remember seeing a preview for this like 7 months ago.
I definitely sent it to you.
Or that, and maybe in theater or at some point, the scene where they're all in his the first night where he hangs out with Paul Rudd, and at like the beginning of that, he says something like, "You all accepted me way too quick," and I remember that scene. I'm like, okay, I did want to see this, but yeah, because I didn't really remember it, I didn't really have any expectations for it, so I was interested to see what you thought. So, but anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I was excited because I thought it was going to be Tim Robinson in more like definitely a comedy, but then in like kind of a more serious role. And then it was just him being Tim Robinson the whole fucking.
So yeah, and so it's interesting that you say that, because when Jordan, our daughter, she came with us and watched it, she was telling me the same thing. She was like, I didn't really know how to feel, and then I got in my car and I was like oddly uncomfortable, and so we started talking about it pre-pod here, and I was like, how would I articulate this? Because I got to be ready. To articulate this to the listeners. And so this is what my takeaway from it was. It started out not taking itself too seriously, and then it tried to get dark and serious, and you kind of were like, but it never quite got there fully because of, like you said, because of him. And he's just being crazy, and kind of his brand of comedy never really seizes. And in order for it to get more serious, it has to seize for at least a little. And it didn't. But it was more like uncomfortable than it was dark. Like cringy almost, as opposed to dark, which are two different things. They're two different things. And then it got funny again. And then it tried to get dark again. But again, it never quite gets there. So what you're left with is a movie that's trying to be a dark black comedy and just falls flat. It's just not. It's not dark enough, and I really agree with you. I thought when it all started coming back to me, what I thought was, oh right, I think Paul Rudd is going to end up turning on him, and it's going to get real dark. Like Paul Rudd's going to be some sort of
I thought he was going to be some psycho killer or something.
Yeah, or he's going to kidnap his family, or he's going to kidnap his wife, and then there would be almost Fargo level darkness to it. And it just wasn't that at all. But again, it tried to do some dark things, but and I don't know if it's just because of him and
Well,
how he is on screen, or if it was just the writing, or maybe it's just his acting. Maybe that's all he can do, and so it just I don't know. But
it
I
seems.
can't give it more than a 3, but there was redeeming moment qualities to it because there's a lot of funny stuff, which, like, and I've never seen Tim Robinson's comedy, so it's possible for you, just last thing I'll say, it's possible for you not to like his brand of comedy. It's very possible people are not going to like that. But I did like it in parts. I
Right.
didn't like all of it, but I liked I liked a lot of it in parts. So I give it a
Well,
3. I would never see that in theater. No one needs to see this in theater. You can watch this at home. But yeah.
yeah, it to me it just seems like they didn't flesh the idea out all the way. They just
Right.
didn't finish like they didn't finish the idea. They like had a strong premise, but then they just really didn't know where to go with it. Where, like, for example, the wife getting lost in the sewer
I
or
was
going
just gonna say that.
or just
Yeah.
disappearing for 2 days and then absolutely no explanation about what she was doing or where she was or why
Right.
she came back or anything like that at all. And she also had zero redeeming qualities. So I get, like, from his perspective, like, why he, as the kids say, was crashing out, because
Right.
she's like going on dates with her ex and like keeps bringing up her ex-boyfriend all the time and hanging out, like just doing like really shitty things. But yeah, it just seems like they didn't finish the whole idea. And it's one of those where I love the actor so much, you just want to like it more and you
Right.
want it to be better. I feel the same way about Longlegs, and then you think about it and you're like, it just wasn't. It wasn't.
We can come back to long legs, yeah. But yeah, I agree. That is a little bit of a good way to describe it. Like it kind of felt like you said, the third act, like the second half of the second act, and then the third act were just. It's like they didn't know where it was going, and so they just kind of were doing it on the fly, and then it just gets really goes really off the rails. But yeah,
Good.
I go ahead.
I was gonna say good for Paul Rudd because he has already played this role before. He just had to tone it down
Yeah,
like
I was
three
thinking
like
that
three
same
not
thing.
like three notches.
Yeah, that was weird too. I'm like, I mean, I don't, obviously it was by design because he had the same haircut and same stash and everything. I did like that they made him bald. That part was kind of funny. That was a funny piece
Yeah, the wig bit was good.
to the skit. Yeah, that was good. I mean, like I said, there's moment. I mean, me and Jordan were talking about it. We laughed many times throughout this movie.
Everybody did.
Yeah, many people did, but it just it wasn't full comedy and it wasn't dark comedy and it just it went. But then there were some other things too that I like. So a couple more pros that I want to call out. I loved the music in this movie. I
Yeah,
thought it was awesome.
the 80s
Yeah,
synthesizers were fucking
and it was not even just that. It was like the way they did it, like with the scene, like they did such a good job with the music. I was like, this is the best part of the movie almost. Like, is this music?
and you're like, and because of the score, you like think the movie's going in a certain direction. Like when they're
Right.
breaking into City Hall for the first time, you're like, oh, they're about to do something fucked up, and then it's just like, oh no, they're just gonna drink Blue Moons on top of City Hall.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
but you think they're gonna go do something, fucking nuts, like that new Marvel movie. You got to see it. I heard it's fucking nuts.
So I thought that was really, really cool, and that's what kind of is disappointing is there were really good elements to it. There's some really good comedic elements. The score was really good. Another one of the funniest scenes to me. I mean, there's several components from a scene standpoint, though. I don't know why I find it so funny. I think I find it funny because you kind of see it coming, but you also don't see it coming. Is when there's a scene where they're out picking wild mushrooms and they're just talking, him and Paul Rudd, and as they're talking, he starts sinking into the mud slowly. And I don't know if that's part of the his whole "you should leave now" comedy skit, if that's part of it, but that particular thing I thought was really funny because it was very simple but effective, and the whole like what was the name of his shoe company, DV or something?
Ocean View Dining.
Yeah, OVD, Ocean View Dining. So there was some. Okay, so let's say it this way: unlike other movies we have seen, there were redeeming qualities in this movie, but they just didn't put it all together. And as you stated, it went off the rails. So I give it a 3 on the heat meter because it's worth a watch, but not in theater. And there's gonna be people that don't like the comedy. So
Yeah, I want to say I would like to watch it again, but I can't.
I don't know if I would subject myself to it. It's a hard watch. The third act is a hard watch, dude. It's not an easy watch.
No, it really is. It's just fucking depressing, honestly.
Yeah.
But what Tim Robinson is also great at is just his facial comedy too. His facial expressions are so fucking funny. He's fucking amazing at that. Yeah, no, I don't know. If I wanted to watch it again, I'll just go watch the show on Netflix.
Okay, I do have one question for you. And
sure.
I'm asking you because I just don't know. We love the questions that I don't know. So I don't know if you'll know. I really don't, but I'm going to ask you because it was a weird scene. There is a scene where he is trying to get illicit drugs, and instead he gets some sort of crazy toad that secretes ass glands that are supposedly you lick to get high. I just want to know, is that real?
That is real.
Do you know if that's real?
Yeah, it's definitely real.
That is wild that anyone would do something like that.
I think that's
so crazy.
I could be wrong, but I think that's where they synthesize ayahuasca from.
Well, because he was asking about if he had ayahuasca in the movie, and the guy was like, "No, I haven't."
Yeah, I could be wrong. Fact check that.
Toad gland. This is gotta be careful how you search this. I don't want to end up on someone's watch list.
Dude, Aaron Rodgers does ayahuasca. It's all good.
Okay, their venom excretes something called 5-EO DMT, a psychedelic
it's DMT
chemical.
Yeah, okay, so DMT. So it's kind of similar to ayahuasca.
Okay.
But just not as, it's not, DMT, that's what it is.
Holy crap. That's insane. Anyway, funny scene. I won't spoil it for people who want to see it because that was actually kind of funny too. That whole scene was pretty good. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, there's not much more to really say here. I think I am with you that it's a little disappointing because you were excited to see it, and it could have been, as you've said many times, it could have been a way better movie, and it just wasn't.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't flesh out Paul Rudd's character more. Like the friendship lasted, guys, about 48 hours.
Right.
I don't even know if you can even call it a friendship. They had one hang and he blew it.
Well, that's why I think they were trying to go for ironic, right? Because they weren't friends. That was the whole point.
Right. But I don't know. I guess more scenes of them doing crazy shit and Tim Robinson being funny, I thought would have made the movie better.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things that could have made the movie better.
Sure. But yeah, Paul Rudd just after 3 scenes is like, I don't want anything to do with you. and then that's where it just kind of it doesn't go anywhere, which sucks.
And there's a lot, and that's kind of the theme too. There's a lot of things about it that don't go anywhere. Like you said, the wife kind of getting lost and that she's missing for 2 days, and then they don't close that loop. There's this weird, awkward bit where their son, who's like 16, it kisses his mom on the mouth and is kind of like overly affectionate, but then that goes nowhere. And then there's like, she's supposedly maybe cheating on him with some Devin ex-boyfriend, but that's not really fleshed out. Yeah, there's a lot of weird things that just went nowhere, and so very weird movie.
Yeah, that scene of the kid kissing his mom was fucking hilarious, though.
And as Jordan stated, that it's the kid. She's like, I know this kid. Where's this kid from? And apparently he's from It. The movie came out, 7 years ago now, or whatever it was.
I thought it was the Stranger Things kid all grown up.
No, but you were on the right track. You were very close. Might as well have been a similar thing. All right, well, guys, that's all we have on that. So let's get to some other stuff. What do you want to talk about this week, man?
Well,
I got stuff, but I want to hear from you.
I kind of wish we saw Mission Impossible now, but it's 3 hours long, and I just don't know if we're gonna be able to make that commitment ever. I don't foresee us being able to climb that hill.
Hang in there. Well, I know you can. That's for sure.
I mean, not at 5:30. This is gonna have to be a new. You're gonna have to
midday.
You're gonna have to come out, call out of work. And we're gonna have to go see this at fucking noon.
A nooner, man.
But I mean, yeah, we got to see it. So I don't know what we're gonna do. I'm gonna need a fresh cold brew, possibly a Red Bull during intermission. They should have intermission.
Well, that's what's missing. You should be able to get up, stretch your legs, And
then I'm gonna need a piss bag.
Yeah. Well, you need that anyway. Actually, I don't think you got up once in this movie. I was very impressed. Good for you.
Nope. It was short and sweet.
And you could have easily gotten up multiple times in this movie.
I know, and not missed a thing.
Not missed anything.
Well,
so Mission Impossible. So you're not. I feel like I've seen the preview so many times and I know that I haven't seen the movie in full because it's, like you said, 3 hours long, and it's a 6-minute no, a 4-minute preview.
How many
So
weeks
clearly,
how many weeks in a row have we done this? 25? 26?
Since October.
Yeah, so we've seen it that many times.
We took a little break in December, but yeah, I think we started seeing previews in March for this movie or something like that. Yeah, it's nuts. But yeah, and I haven't. I mean, like you said, you got. I have to fire up. I haven't seen all of them. And now Christian seems to think that maybe I've seen the last one with him, and maybe we did. I don't remember.
We definitely did. We 100% saw it together.
All right, it's possible. I'm not saying I didn't, but
ask your girl. She will confirm. Is she awake? She's not awake.
No. I think she's crashed out herself, actually.
Well, I keep hearing this has the best action sequences, but they say this about every fucking blockbuster movie. It has the best action sequences of all time. You got to see it for the action sequences. And by the way, there's a rumor that they might be making a Les Grossman movie.
For those of you who don't know, how does character from Tropic Thunder.
Which is
I'm not sure how it hits me, because one of the big things about that Tropic Thunder theme is that you can't remake that movie in today's woke world. So I'm curious to see how they're going to do it.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I mean, I'm interested.
I think they could now, and I'm happier. I would rather them do this than do like Tropic Thunder 2.
Right. You can't replicate that anyway. There's no chance.
Yeah, you can't.
It's risky to even touch this, but I can see them trying.
Blackface. Dude,
can't do any face now.
Imagine if they did. You can definitely do whiteface. Imagine if they did do it though. It would just shatter just the complete zeitgeist into a billion pieces. If Robert Downey Jr. brought back, he
reprised that role.
He didn't even do blackface. He did black body. He did the Jimmy Kimmel Karl Malone.
So funny. So funny. The thing is like it would
definitely
crush block, but it'd be the biggest movie event.
Well, who won't do it is Ben Stiller, because he's he's definitely changed.
Yeah, but I mean, I've heard him say he's proud of it multiple times, so at least he's not backing down on it. He has not changed the tune on that movie yet. I mean, I've heard him defend it many times, so.
Yeah, no, I don't think he would trash it, but I definitely don't think he would even consider doing it, and for multiple reasons. Not just because it's such a good movie, you shouldn't do it anyways. But they always tend to fuck up anything that's good, so I wouldn't put it past them. So I'd rather them take this route, and but it's probably just a rumor, but it's probably Tom Cruise's best performance.
Definitely one of them. I heard this fun fact this week. Jack Black is an viral interview segment from some show, and they were talking about he was roasting Ben Stiller's directing style from Tropic Thunder. Apparently, there's a theme where he's being carried into once they're captured in the jungle or whatever. Jack Black was thrown over like a rhino or a hippo or something, and he's being carried into the village. And apparently, at one point, he carried, let's see, hippo? Is that what it is? Apparently this animal, he gets eaten by a hippo. But no, sorry, that's Jumanji.
Oh, that would have been hilarious.
That's why it said that. Hold on, Jack Black carried by animal in... Anyway, he's talking about how apparently this animal, it's a water buffalo. That's what I'm thinking, water buffalo.
Sure.
And apparently the water buffalo started running or whatever and bucked him off, and he went flying into the ground and pretty hurt. And it was literally 3 minutes, and Ben Stiller was like, "You guys ready to go again?" Jack Black is just I can't move,
Damn.
So I saw that. Now I don't know how true that is. They were on the same interview, so maybe he's just roasting him, but it was a funny little bit.
But if Jack Black,
I kind of forgot about that whole thing.
But if Jack Black was like, "I can't do the sequel," and they're like, "Because the blackface," he goes, "No, that's fine, but I can't be on the back of another water buffalo. It might kill me."
Oh, here's what it said. He said it was dangerous, and he almost quit the movie as a result. So yeah, apparently
almost
he landed.
Quit?
Well, so
this movie was legit Tropic Thunder.
I know. He told everything. He said that the water buffalo looked a little weird, and and he said that he could tell the buffalo was uncomfortable, and that it started bucking when they started moving. And then he ended up flying off the buffalo and landed between two boulders. He was only a little winded and didn't get hurt, but he stormed off the set. He was pretty pissed, I guess, because I mean, if you're you're putting a lot of trust in these animal trainers and stuff, So you're like, it's fine. Get on the water buffalo. Do it.
Also, who's training water buffaloes?
Dude,
that's not a common
niche job.
That's not a common fucking animal. But also, did anybody check on the water buffalo? How was he doing?
Water buffalo's fine. Nothing happened. He just bucked him off.
I'm just saying, you put Jack Black on my back, it's it might have some fucking problems.
I don't know if you've seen a water buffalo. He's like 10 Jack Blacks. So,
well, Jack Black is 15 me's.
I just realized you ever said something over and over again, and you say it so many times that it starts to sound like not a word.
Absolutely.
Like, we've just said Jack Black 5 times in a row, and I started thinking that's not his name. I'm like, are we saying his name right? It's Jack Black, Jack Black, Jack Black. Oh man. Anyway, all right. So, Mission Impossible. Who knows if we'll make it there? Do you have any what stinks this week things? I got stuff, but.
Well, I looked up that story about that girl in Argentina who almost got crushed to death at a screening of Final Destination.
That's terrible. Just terrible.
Well, yeah, I would seriously consider not driving my car home after that. That's fucking crazy. So it was towards the end of the movie, and the ceiling collapsed, which, by the way, it only hit her.
How is that possible?
And, yeah, I don't know. I guess it was just like it was just a small chunk out of the ceiling. It didn't hit her in the head, just hit her in, I guess it landed in her lap. But it was also, she said she doesn't go out because she doesn't like being in crowds areas. And the only reason she went out is because it was her birthday. It's the only reason she even went to the movies. And then so she goes to ask for her money back, and the manager goes, so how do you want to, or he goes, how do you want to fix this?
That's what the manager said?
Yeah, that's what the manager said. He goes, how do you want to handle this? Which is a really funny response, because he's like, I get it. He's like, I don't know what the fucking protocol here is.
By the way, I love that the theater name is Cinema Ocho, because it makes me think of ESPN the Ocho.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you're at a Cinema Ocho, you got whatever's coming to you.
Which apparently is a ceiling piece.
A ceiling into your fucking popcorn, into your custom Dune popcorn container.
I mean, she had her 11-year-old at a screening of Final Destination, which I don't know. I have interesting feelings on that. But
is she 11?
Yeah, she was 11 years old.
No, 29.
Daughter, yeah.
No, she's 29.
No, Fiamma Villaverde was celebrating her birthday with her.
I see. I skimmed past that part. I apologize. Yeah. I only read
and
the
a
headline.
Friend. And it hit her. It hit her in the knee. There's a picture of the. Here, I can show this. There's a picture of her knee. So
go to
in case you guys haven't seen all this, let's get into this so you guys can see what's going on here. What were you gonna say?
What article are you reading? Are you on the People magazine article?
It's not People magazine. I'm on a website called thetribune.com.
Oh my god!
Can you guys see that? Can you guys see that right there?
Yeah, that is gnarly.
Yeah, so that's. I mean, all things considered, that's not too bad. So that's that. This is her daughter.
Is her leg normally that fat, or is that swelling?
That's her kneecap right here.
It's also I'm looking at a small screen here, so it just looks ginormous.
No, and this is the ceiling that fell right here.
Yeah, that's nothing.
Yeah, I don't. But yeah, kind of crazy because it's like obviously it was enough to this picture.
Brother, if you walk into a movie theater and they still have those curtains on the walls, immediately walk the fuck out of there. That's fucking insane.
She suffered There's a really loud noise, and at first we thought it was part of the movie because we were so absorbed, but then this piece fell on me. Anyway, I think the point here is it's a little ironic. That was the point of the story.
Go to the People magazine article. There's a really the photo they use in the article is really funny.
There's a what now?
Yeah, go to that. Scroll down. I just love the photo that they use.
This is the Cinema Ocho. The Ocho's falling over. This is really Final Destination, dude. Look, there's graffiti all over this theater. The
Oh,
sign's about
100
to fall off and hit her in the head as you're walking in. She's like,
100%.
look at this.
There's 100% only 3 of those letters light up at night. I'd bet my life on
which 3?
The N, the M, and the H.
I was gonna say just
Or-
enema.
Enema's good.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm
pretty
trying to see
funny.
if there's any other funny words I can
Maybe
think out of
just
this, but-
macho.
Yeah,
Yeah,
macho's good.
how about just cinemacho? Yeah, I don't know.
Or just
Anyway,
in.
but yeah,
Or just in would be good.
just in. Oh,
Yeah.
I got it. In ho.
In ho. There we go.
Yeah,
We did it.
Yeah.
We
we
fucking
did it. All right, that's good
We made it
podcasting there, folks.
In Maho.
Anyway, yeah.
Oh, no. I got it better. In Maho. You can go in.
Jeez,
in Maho. That's even better.
my God, boy. Anyway, all right.
Whoa,
So
we're infinite. Dude, so I got to tell you about this guy that came to the bar the other day. He comes in, the Knicks and Pacers game was going, and this guy comes in and he gets a beer. And he looks like what's his name from Along Came Polly in the beginning? What's that fucker's name? He does The Simpsons. God damn it. You know who I'm talking about?
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
No. No. The
Oh,
guy
I'm sorry,
in the
Hank
beginning-
Azaria. Hank Azaria.
Hank Azaria. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Hank Azaria. He
Yeah.
looked like Hank Azaria from Along Came Polly. Like long, like flowy hair. He had like multiple gold bracelets on. He had this super nice gold watch on.
Pretty good
Anyways,
size. Pretty good size. Yeah. Okay.
So he's watching the Knicks Pacers game, and I, just to make conversation or whatever, I'm like, "Oh, did you catch the first game? Because it was like fucking crazy or whatever." And he looks at me and he goes, "I don't have time for that." And I was like, "What?" He goes, "I don't have time for that. I have 5 houses." And I was like, "What?" He goes, "I have 5 houses. I'm going on a red eye tonight. I'm flying out of here on a red eye later." He goes, "I don't have time for that. I'm outside."
I'm outside.
Like, he's like, he's not being a dick, but like he's literally like, just, it was straight out of a movie, dude. He pulls out his phone and he goes, "See this? This is me spearfishing." And then he swipes left and he goes, "See this? This is me on my ATVs." All right.
Whoa.
He goes, "You want to know what my sport is? Work. My business.
Oh my
That's
God.
my sport."
He's a guy that's got that neon light in his house that says "hustle and grind." He's that guy. My
It
God.
was so crazy, dude. And I didn't say a word for like 2 minutes. He was just going off.
Dude, that's wild.
Dude,
I wish I could have been there for that. I would have loved to see that.
It turned into the most like motivational speech ever. It was fucking insane. I was just like,
This is me spearfishing.
I was like, dude, and it was.
When you said that, I thought that was a metaphor for him prospecting sales. And you're like, no, it's actually him spearfishing. And once you said that, the first thing that came to my mind is from Dodgeball when he looks at the painting, he goes, "That's me grabbing the bull by the horns."
Dude, it was 100% that. It was the most insane thing.
God.
And all I asked him was like, "Did you catch the game the other night?" And it turned into just an avalanche of,
Wow.
dude, it was so fucking funny. And like I said,
Dude,
he wasn't
that's
even being,
crazy.
he wasn't being rude. He was just like, literally, he's like, "I don't have time for this bullshit." And I want to be like, "Me either, dude. I don't care about this shit. Shit's fucking,
Dude,
like, this shit's fucking,
I don't even know why I asked you that. Sorry.
yeah, no, it's
That-
fucking
that reminds
dumb. I
me of
agree.
the-
Hey, dude, I'm with you. I agree. This is fucking bullshit.
I was just
Did
making
you see
conversation.
the fucking NBA lottery? Complete bullshit.
That reminds me of in the Friendship movie when Paul Rudd's like, he's looking at that yellow car and he's like, "Yeah, that's so cherry." And then Tim Robinson's character's like, "Yeah, it is. It's so cherry, dude."
There were some
Man.
good lines. There were some good lines. There really
Yeah,
were.
there was some good elements. All right, so that's a hilarious story, and it reminds the story you're telling reminds me of so many things. Like there's guys like that in all kinds of movies, right? Like the other one that comes to mind is there's a movie back in our younger days called Hitch with pre-slap Will Smith and Kevin James, and not Hitch, right? Is it Hitch?
Yeah.
Hitch? Yeah, Hitch.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know where you're going, so I don't know.
Well, just the name of the movie. Is that the name of the movie? Kevin
Yeah.
James and Will
Oh
Smith.
my god,
Okay,
dude,
yeah.
Jack Black is killing you.
Yeah, dude, I was like, Hitch? Is that right? Hitch?
The movie broke your brain.
It just certainly did. But there's a guy in that movie where he comes in and he's talking to Will Smith and he's like, "You see this? Power suit, power tie, power steering." That guy. That's what you're making me think of with this guy at the bar.
He was all of that combined, but it just went. It
so
went
funny.
0 to 60 so fast. It was like he was talking. It was like my hair was blowing in the wind. I was like fucking trying to take in everything. I was like, Jesus Christ.
My God.
Nah,
All right.
I should have latched onto him.
Yeah, I mean, he's listening to the Gary Vee podcast right now. Hustle, grind.
Do you want to be my friend? We could totally be friends.
Jeez. Yeah, you'll be 48-hour friends, just like the movie. He'll cut you loose.
Let me stay at one of those 5 houses you got.
Yeah, that's such a like you said, like you're like he's not being a dick, but also at the same time you're being super douchey without even trying to be douchey is like that's a whole other level of douchiness.
Also, it's like, dude, save this energy for whatever business meeting at whatever steak dinner you got coming up. Like you're flexing on the wrong guy. Dude, you're busting all this out on some bartender. It's like you need to save this for fucking the CEO of whatever fucking steel manufacturing company you got to dunk on at the next business meeting.
Or if you were just trying to impress like a cocktail waitress or one of your female waitresses. Dude. Okay, I get it. Then I mean, it's still douchey and stupid, but at least I get what you're doing.
Are you trying to fuck me, bro?
Jesus.
Are you trying to fuck me right now? Is that what's
and then
happening?
you're looking at him in the eyes and you go, "'Cause it's working."
Dude, yeah, whatever. Tip me. I need some money.
Well, yeah, I know the establishment that you're running.
It was really funny
and working at. So it kind of doesn't surprise me now that I think about it. In some ways,
no, definitely not.
This is not your run of the mill.
He will not
tavern that you're tending.
No, he will not be the last. But you know what? I can handle that type of
sure.
That's
the least of your issues.
Yeah. But anyways,
all right. All right, so for me, what stinks this week is, and we gotta, I kind of was like, do I want to get into this? Do I not want to get into it? But it keeps coming at me, and so I'm like, I feel like we got to get into it. It's topical. It's viral. I do not understand the Caitlin Clark hate train. I'm not getting it. And me and you had a little banter about this, and your take on this whole thing was like, it's great for basketball, or for women's basketball, which I agree. This whole rivalry with her and Angela Reese and drama. Angel. I keep calling her Angela. I don't know why. Ashes. I just, Jack Black, Angela, Hitch. I can't keep anything straight. I'm normally really good with names. So Angel Reese, I think I just can't believe her name is Angel. I think that's what's going on. But yeah, so
I can't believe she can't make a layup, but go ahead.
Well, she's got to get those rebounds, right? Yeah. So I think what stinks this week for me is, and now, granted, so I'm going to take this in a different direction. It's not going to be centered around necessarily this whole discussion, but what came to me was how easily we can be influenced through media. And obviously this is not a new topic, right? Like this is long. I mean, our parents were complaining about this when the newspapers came out. I mean, hell, even before that, the talkies are influencing us, right? That's what they used to call the radio back in the day.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'm going back. But yeah, you had the papers, and I think the talkies were like the pre-movie. That was like the movie previews back in the day. So media and all that, we know that's the main source of influence. But it's crazy to me how easy it is now, especially video. So here's what's being fed to me. On my algorithm are videos that are edited of all the fouls and disgusting things that are happening to Caitlin Clark throughout the season, and they're edited to like a hate Caitlin hyper mix, right? Where it looks like in this video, it looks like I don't know how she's surviving. Like it looks like she's got a couple of weeks left before she's absolutely murdered. And Tanya Harding, that's what it looks like off of these videos that I'm getting fed. Now, how real it is or not real, the thing that kind of resonated with me was I started catching myself believing it. Like I started to feel uneasy and literal fear for Caitlin Clark's life. And I'm like, is it this bad? I'm not tuning into all the WNBA games, but that mix, dude, made it look bad. And then I started thinking, like, there's obviously a hyper mix in the reverse of this somewhere. being fed to someone else's algorithm. And it's like probably edited to make it look like Caitlin Clark saying the N-word or who knows. You know what I mean? Like, but it just got me thinking of how easy it is to influence people's thinking through a video. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts, especially my algorithm too, because it's all racial. It's so crazy what they feed you. It's all just a bunch of fucking, I won't get into it, but
well,
yeah, they're definitely
that's the point.
They're definitely showing you things to get riled up, and then I think on the flip side of that too, it's the same thing. I'm sure on some, I'm sure on Black Twitter, it's nothing but like videos of honkies doing crazy shit and racist shit, and then on my feed it's the complete opposite. So it's
right,
and that's why they're trying to, well, I don't know why people on ESPN are trying to make this a race issue. Like, that's especially for ESPN, like that is the last fucking thing. And if you're the WNBA, that is the last thing you want to turn this into, because this is, again, the best thing that could have happened to your league, and you want to capitalize on them just being rivals. But the second that you turn it into a race thing, which ESPN has and the WNBA has by investigating complete of a fake video that was put out on Twitter, like if that's where they're gonna go, they're gonna they've already kind of blown it with Caitlin Clark already by not embracing her.
right.
And all the former players like Cheryl Swoops not embracing her and just being so fucking bitter about the entire thing that they're just they're blowing the Steph Curry of women's basketball, and it's fucking crazy.
And it's so stereotypical, but also stereotypes come from truth in a lot of cases. It's like, isn't it just I got a house full of 4 women, and we have a sister, and I have friends growing up, and it seems like it is extremely difficult for them to keep close friends. Like, they run through friends, like they just catty and they turn on each other, and it's crazy. And it's such a cliche, I think is the word I'm looking for these women to not support each other and to just tear this girl down because she's good. Well, and that's crazy to me.
Especially in the time that we live in the most like, women empowerment, my whole, the last 10 fucking 15 years have been nothing but just women empowerment and women's rights and all this. And then they again finally have an opportunity to, uplift somebody and embrace, someone who's going to not only change the game of women's basketball, but also make everybody in the league more money. You're all going to get more money now because of her. And they can't get over the jealousy. And
and I mean, obviously I understand too. Well, I don't understand. That's a terrible term to use, because I'll be crucified for using that term. I can see the perspective of, I guess, whatever the term is, white savior syndrome, where it's like the last thing we want is someone to come save the league who happens to be white. Like, I can at least see the perspective of other players, for that. But that's just whatever. I mean, she's good. The world we live in, that's just what happens. So, but again, it's not so much about that. It was more about how easily we're influenced, and it's crazy because it's a microcosm, I guess, of what our algorithms are really doing. And there's several songs out there written about this, and several articles and stuff about it. Basically, it sucks to have to accept that there is algorithms doing this on purpose.
100%.
And if you think so, this is what stinks this week. If you think that media companies are not trying to divide us, I think you're mistaken. And not to make this a public service announcement, but that's what I felt. I'm like, this is crazy that I'm getting this.
I think most people would agree. I think we all kind of know that we're being programmed a little bit.
Right, but I think people turned a blind eye to it, though. They kind of just hand wave it away, like, I don't want to really talk about that. And it was just so in my face this week, where I'm like, again, and I'm fully admitting, by the end of the video, I was like, dude, we got to get Caitlin Clark out of here, dude. She's not going to make it. Like, I literally was like, by the end of that video, I literally was thinking that.
She got beat up last season, and by the way, she's out for 2 weeks. She pulled.
Yeah, I saw that.
I think she pulled her hamstring or something, or
yeah,
quad.
It's a thigh. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what stinks this week for me, and it's just PSA for everybody, like, just be aware that's happening. So take that for what it will, but it's a real thing. It's pretty
Oh,
bad.
dude, Twitter's the worst on it, or the worst about it, dude. Because if you watch one video, like if you like watch one Caitlin Clark Angel Reese video, your whole algorithm now is just, complete
Right.
rage bait, and
Right.
other, it's all just racial type videos after that. That's all you get until you click on a different video, and then that you get shit related to that.
That takes over. Yeah.
But yeah, Twitter's fucking terrible at it. But I mean, I've realized this a long time ago.
Yeah, you're the one that told me before we were on X, the everything app, that it was a cesspool, and I was never on it, and now we're on it obviously for this. But
Well, people literally call it white Twitter and black Twitter because
I've never heard that, but I believe
there's
you.
literally two different sections of Twitter depending on what your skin color is. You get completely different videos, but of the
Wild.
same. They're the same videos, but the races are reversed pretty much. It's pretty fucking crazy.
So nuts. Oh man. Okay, so that was a little depressing, but anyway, I don't have too much more this week. Is there anything else you want to share or talk about?
No, that's all I got too. We're falling apart in the third act here.
Just like the movie Friendship, guys. Yeah, there was a segment that I thought was kind of cool that I saw that might be fun for us to do. It's going to take a lot of work though, so I got to figure out how to do it. But there was a segment that I saw that I thought would be really cool for us, which is where you show the first like 60 seconds of a movie. Like I would show you the first 60 seconds of a movie and see if you can place the name of the movie before that 60 seconds is up.
Ooh,
And
I
would
that.
obviously,
That's good.
I would obviously choose movies that I know you've seen, which makes it more entertaining because it's like, oh, if you're not getting it, that's embarrassing because I know you've seen it.
Yeah, we're gonna have to figure out how to do that.
I mean, I just have to. It's not that hard. I just got to pull up 16 tabs on YouTube or 10 tabs on YouTube and just gear them up. But so maybe next time we'll do that. That'll be a fun thing.
Yeah, no, we should definitely do that. I like that. That'd be cool.
Awesome.
I love the trailers you get for indie movies too. They were all just the most gayest trailers. That Wes Anderson movie looks so fucking stupid.
We could talk about that for a second. I mean, I know we've touched on it in the past, but like, here's the deal. You and I both admitted we've never seen any of his movies.
No.
So we're basing this hate for these Wes Anderson movies purely on the fact that the trailers are not funny.
No, but there's like laugh breaks. Like there's scenes in the trailer where you're there, you go, this is where they expect people to laugh, but it's not funny at all. And that's every single one of his movies. Every single trailer I've seen, it's the same fucking shit. You're like, I'm supposed to laugh here, but I don't fucking want to because it's not fucking funny. And you can't force. It's like he's trying to force it out of you. Like, fuck you, man. Make it funny.
Well, I noticed. So I'm with you on like just not understanding the comedy, right? Like I kind of, for most of his previews, I'm always kind of like I'm not really even getting the joke in those previews. Now I did see in this movie for the Phoenix Scheme is the name
Phoenician?
of the movie. Or is that what, the Phoenician Scheme? Whatever.
So.
Well,
Yeah.
I keep messing up names today, so it's definitely probably not. I'm probably not correct.
Even the fucking title is pretentious as fuck. The Phoenician Scheme.
So I was gonna say that's the vibes that I get, is that it's a very pretentious movie, but for some reason, and we don't know why, and this is one of the things I was gonna say is, obviously we've talked about how he gets all these actors into it, and the only explanation is that they're allowed to kind of play these quirky characters that they would otherwise never. It's almost like, here's how I looked at the trailer and how I think these actors are attracted to it. It's almost like he's doing a play. He's doing a play on screen. If you look at the fake beards and phony mustaches and the outrageous props, like, it all screams play to me. That's just kind of what I think. And the actors, believe it or not, unless your name is like The Rock or you're an action star, most of them take their acting pretty seriously. Like they come up through acting school, like they want to act. And a lot of them I've heard a lot of interviews where they complain that they don't get to, right? Because it's like they get typecast or whatever, and they chase the money, which is their own fault in a lot of cases. But it's like, so when they get these opportunities to, because they can't be making that much money on these Wes Anderson movies, because there's no way these movies are bringing in a bunch of money. Let's find out. Actually, let's play that game. Wes Anderson.
I guarantee the Grand Budapest Hotel is probably the highest box office for sure. Has to be.
Let's see. And we need a baseline for context too for this because all right, so the all right, so the Grand Budapest Hotel is for sure number 1 and it grossed $174 million, a little over 174 million. I wish it would give me. Okay, here we go. Box office performance. And did you know he had like a crazy? Well, I won't get into that now. Never mind.
No, what?
Well, I was gonna say
Can't
it looked
stop
like
there.
there was a. Well, sorry, it's just the way they ranked it. It looked like he had like an 11-year gap between movies, but that was just the way they ranked it. All right,
You should have took off longer.
so yeah, the Grand Budapest Hotel is 175 mil, and then the Royal Tenenbaums, which is way back in
Oh
2001.
yeah.
That was the second, but that was 71 million. All right, now for context.
Wait, isn't that a Coen Brothers movie?
No, it's his.
No, I thought that was a Coen Brothers.
No, Wes Anderson did that movie. And I mean, yeah, like all of these are, I mean, they're all just, like you said, pretentious and interesting.
Here's the thing though, too. I've never met a single living human being who was like, yeah, I'm a huge Wes Anderson fan. Never.
I don't, well, he doesn't make that many movies to begin with.
He's got
a
pretty good
handful,
amount,
but
right? 6, 7?
I mean, okay, I'll read these and you tell me which ones you've heard of. I mean, obviously you've heard of the Grand Budapest Hotel and you've heard of Royal Tenenbaums. Okay,
Right.
we know that.
Asteroid City.
I'm gonna say the rest of these. This is just in the ones that are in the top 10 ranking. Okay, Moonrise Kingdom. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Yes.
Have you ever heard of that?
I have.
Okay, I have not.
God, I forgot about it, and now I'm mad again.
The Darjeeling Limited.
No.
The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou.
No.
Rushmore.
No. This is like a CIA like torture where they just like or
Just
just
saying
say
random things at you.
words to me. You're programming me.
All right, and then Bottle Rocket. And those ones are really old. Rushmore is 1998. Bottle Rocket's 1996, so it doesn't surprise me. But he also uses some, like that was back in the day where he kept using the Wilson brothers. He uses Luke and Owen Wilson in 1, 2, 3, in three different movies. It looks like. But anyway, like Asteroid City's not even in his top 10 ranking, which I don't know if it's just because it's probably old. Maybe this wasn't up. Yeah, this was made 8 years ago, so
Also,
that's probably why it's not like Asteroid City's not in there probably. But
when was Grand Budapest Hotel? Was that 2013?
2014.
Okay. And then what was after that?
Number 2 at that time was Royal Tenenbaums, but
No.
it might
I mean,
be Asteroid City now.
What movies came out after Grand Budapest Hotel?
After that, none of the ones on this list. So it looks like Asteroid City would be the. Hold on, let me get into a different article here.
Because I think he's made like the same movie 4 different times in the last 8 years.
Okay, he made a movie called The French Dispatch, which
Is that Benedict Cumberbatch?
Nope, Owen Wilson, of course. Oh, Timothy Chalamet and Tilda Swinton.
That's an interesting cast.
Okay, Asteroid City was 2023. Isle of Dogs. I do have a comment on that. That is interesting that he did that. That's really weird. I'll come back to that. So really, that's it. In terms of like the biggest movies, so the Royal Tenenbaums, 71 million. Grand Budapest Hotel is by far his most successful, 172 million. Okay, but the point of this was, and nothing else has really scraped 50 million or less, which obviously is a respectable amount in some cases, but not when you're paying a cast of all-stars who are, they must be doing this almost like pro bono, like, because you got a cast of like 12 stars in here.
And that's all his movies too. That's an interesting point. Yeah, I don't know, dude. He must be sucking them off. I don't know what he's doing.
I don't know.
Or they're just like, dude, we get to shave our mustaches into really cool mustaches, and we get to say random quirky things, and I don't know.
Yeah, again, I think it's like I said. I think it's just an opporteity for them to just do play.
I've never even met a girl who was like, I would have thought at this point I'd at least have met a girl who was like, I'm a Wes Anderson fan. Like that I could see. But no, I've met nobody.
Well, for context about how not impressive those numbers are for such an acclaimed director, take a stab at how much you think the original A Quiet Place, directed by John Krasinski and co-wrote and starred in, Guess how much that has grossed at the box office worldwide? Just take a stab at it.
Worldwide,
Worldwide.
600 million.
Okay, you kind of stole the thunder there. It's not it's not that crazy, but it's 300. It's 341 million. But that is double what the Grand Budapest Hotel did, and that was his directorial debut.
Yeah.
Just so.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely.
I mean, I get that they're different movies. I get all that, but
yeah, and I hear you.
At the same time, though, that movie was unique. A Quiet Place was unique. It was a true original. So I give him a lot of credit for it. But anyway, the point is like,
I mean, people obviously, his movies obviously don't cost that. They can't cost that much to make. I would assume.
Let's see if we can get that.
I mean, I don't know. He does have a lot of fucking props and shit.
Well, that and just the cast, like
And
I said, you got to get all these people there.
Yeah, but dude, they probably love it. It's probably some huge fucking circle jerk. Where they're all just...
We're getting it. They're doing the adrenochrome. It's just a circle.
Yeah, dude. It's 100%.
Okay, let's see how much it makes. Okay, so the Grand Budapest Hotel, it cost $25 million to make.
Yeah, so he's he makes he makes a
they do it pro bono.
He makes the studio money. But it's just like he makes movies to just annoy me, you know?
And again, it's funny because we've never seen any of these. Oh my god.
But
check this out. Asteroid City, $25 million to make. The French Dispatch, also $25 million to make. It's almost like they give him that budget.
Yeah, that's wild.
All three of them are the same amount.
How could they be the exact same amount? Well, I mean, that's just obviously not.
Well, I mean, it might be just the production companies who are greenlighting his projects, basically. But yeah, interesting. What was the other one that we said? It was Fox something.
The Wonderful Mr.
Is that what it's called?
I think so. No, I think it.
Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Right, wrong adjective.
You were close. You were close. That one couldn't have taken How much did it take? All right, that one cost him $40 million to make. That was a bomb. That was a flop.
Which one?
From a budget. The Fantastic Mr. Fox. It cost $40 million to make that one.
It didn't make its money back.
Barely, $36 million. So it made $6 million. The one thing I will say, and you'll never watch this in a million years probably, but maybe if you're so tired or like you said, you're just sick or something, you gotta get a bowl of chicken noodle or something. I will say the movie that they had on here, called Isle of Dogs. It's a stop motion animated movie that is like Asian based. It's like captioned, which is so weird. Doggy. It's so weird to even explain this because he's not Asian.
No, and
Wes Anderson.
I would rather drown myself in a bowl of chicken noodle soup when I'm sick than fucking watch that.
Well, what I was gonna say is it was actually interesting. I remember it's never something I would watch on my own, but one of our kids was like, I wanted to see this, and it was actually really, really interesting. Now, I fully admit, maybe it's not for you. I mean, your attention span may not be able to be held, but I thought it was very interesting once I kind of got into it and gave it a chance. But that's a very different thing.
So you have seen it.
Isle of Dogs, I've seen, yeah.
Okay, the whole thing.
The whole thing. I watched it with I think Elisa.
Oh, I didn't know you saw it.
I think it was Elisa. Yeah, I've seen it.
Interesting.
Also, I'm today years old when I realized that he looks like this.
You didn't think that's what he looked like?
I had a feeling, which is why I Googled it. But again, like we're getting into stereotypes. Sometimes stereotypes are true for a reason. Look, he's even wearing colors that you would expect him to wear. These are the colors that he puts in his movies.
He's wearing the fucking pastel colors. His movies are just a reflection of his face. Realistically, and his hair for sure. Yeah,
that's what...
I would like to go to one of his movies just to see the other people that go. Because I would like
that would be interesting.
I would like to think they're probably just a bunch of theater geeks.
And that's what I'm thinking. That's exactly what I'm thinking. Which at least then we'll be able to wrap our head around it.
Yeah.
Because that, like I said, that I can understand. If it's about acting and you just want to play, I kind of get it. It's like us going to fantasy baseball camp. You get invited to go. You're like, oh, I get to be a Met for a day, or a Giants for a day. Like I can see it. They're like, oh, I get to be like a true actor for a month, something like that.
Definitely the people who are Wes Anderson fans, at some point, if you like challenge them about why they like him, they would definitely say to you, well, you just don't get it. You just don't get him. And if you have to say that about your favorite director, I don't think it's good. You know, if you have to say that about any of your favorite artists, like you just don't get them. You're talking about someone like Kanye at that point. You just don't.
Nobody gets him right now.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, to be fair, well, but no, you're right. I mean, I've heard that from like
pretty happy, but
I feel like I've had people say that to me about musicians for sure. Like certain musical artists where I'm like, I don't get it, and they're like, yeah, you wouldn't, and it's like the most pretentious comment. But at the same time, I'm like, no, I think I really don't get it.
What if these are like the best movies of all time?
That's why we got to see one.
I know. I talk too much shit without having seen it.
Well, yeah, let's close with this. Because this is a good segue. That this is the last piece. I love how your Christian's background is disappearing.
It's been horrible all episode.
Don't worry about the YouTube version of this episode, guys. Yeah. Christian's a ghost.
He's
like
been
popping in and out,
flickering in and out the whole time. I'm gonna have to probably X-nay the background, where I'm gonna have to change rooms.
Your lighting is just terrible. I can't even see you.
I know.
Turn the lights on,
They're so fucking bright.
Look at this. Look at my back. I'm doing great over here, dude. HD camera.
I know, but you have the lamp you're faced away. I have this fucking titty light on the ceiling, and it's bright as hell.
The light that looks like a boob.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So last thing I'll say, and then we'll go. There's a preview, and Christian, I think the more movies I see with him and the more instant hate, I'm going to have to start seeing movies without him, guys, and doing my own reviews of them. Because there was a movie that came on the previews today that I was like, I want to see it. I want to see how it goes. It might suck. It might be too much. And Christian was instantly like, I'm not watching this. It's a movie coming out called Life of Chuck.
Yeah.
The Life of Chuck.
What else do you need to know?
It looks interesting. I'm interested in it. But it does have one of those names of the biopic kind of name, and I don't think it is. But it's a Stephen King story, which I also learned that Stephen King wrote The Green Mile, which I did not know that. I know he's written a lot of other ones like Shawshank Redemption and all that stuff.
Oh, I didn't know either of those.
Really? Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, so interesting.
Yeah, but this is not either of those movies. This is like a feel good. There's like a.
And as we've seen on previous reels, Christian hates a feel-good movie.
Tom Hiddleston is dancing in a crowd with people. It's fucking insane. You have that one guy from 12 Years a Slave, Cheadle Altafleur. I don't even know his name. I can't even say his name. But no.
Let me see if I can take a stab at it.
It's not for me.
It's not Don. You're not thinking of Don Cheadle, are you?
No.
Oh, you're thinking of Chiwetel Ejiofor.
That's the one.
That is hard to say.
Yeah, that's tough.
But there's a lot of other. But Matthew Lillard's in it, and we love Matthew Lillard.
We do love Matthew Lillard.
He's great. Love him.
No,
there's a lot of people in there.
I mean, that trailer could have been like one of the Tropic Thunder trailers. You know that it's like that kind of movie. And I just when I see
I'm not getting that at all.
It looks like a fake fucking movie trailer. You know what I mean? It looks like a fake.
I'm not with them here, guys. We're having our first heated battle.
It looks like one of those fucking Oscar bait ass movie trailers, like that one, like the one Bradley Cooper did a couple years back with the fucking the orchestra conductor with the huge nose.
Okay, I don't think it's quite like that. I don't think it's quite like that because I get what you're trying to say.
Yeah,
I get it.
You know that they're trying to get an Oscar. Like, it's that kind of movie. And I fucking hate, like, the Oscar nominees last year. I didn't watch a single one. I never do.
Okay, here's the difference, though, for me. Now, normally, you have solid foundational takes, which I respect. That's why we do it. We do the show. The difference with this one is that this is already a novella. This is not written for
novella.
Oscar. That's what all of his are. They're called. Don't make fun of words you don't understand.
Are they Spanish?
No, novella just means short novel. That's all it means. All right, we got to culture this guy up here.
No, dude. Dude, I'm on Duolingo.
For example, for Duolingo, barely heard of you. I don't know. So for example, The Shawshank Redemption, which I think people overrate that movie, but it's still a very good movie. That is based on a short story by Stephen King. So this is already written. This isn't someone doing a passion project, spitting it out to win an Oscar. This is already a book. So that's where, the comparison falls short. Now, I get the name of it. And, it is a feel-good movie. I mean, right in the credits, it says, a life-affirming, genre-bending story.
God. Genre-bending. Yeah, what genres?
All of them. That's the point.
Can I get
you're on record.
Can I get a runtime on this movie? Is there one?
Okay. How long do you think it is?
Too fucking long.
Well, do you think? Okay. What would it have to be in order for you to buy in?
Oh, I need this.
Lengthwise.
I need it buttoned up in about an hour 15, hour 20.
Guess how long it is? Wait, did you say hour 15? Did you say an hour 15? What movie is buttoned up in an hour and 15 minutes? What are you talking about?
You asked. I'm
gonna need an accurate answer for you to take this movie seriously and not get all hate on it because you think it's gonna be whatever you think it is. How long would it need to remain under?
Oh, fucking 2 hours for sure.
It's an hour and 50 minutes. That's it.
That's it. That's not it.
That's it. Hour and 50 minutes. That's the runtime.
Yeah, but you're saying like that's not. Plus, are we talking theaters too?
No. What are you talking about? The movie is an hour and 50 minutes. What are you talking about? 1 hour, 50 minutes. It's under 2 hours.
That is 2 hours. An hour 50 is 2 hours.
Either way, it's a pretty average movie. Anyway, point is, he said it needed to be under 2. It's under 2.
God, dude,
so you've already lost that argument.
You probably see the whole life of Chuck. Fucking
kill
long. Me.
All right, so I'll be seeing that one on my own or with someone else, but I'll be doing a review on it. And if it sucks, I'll tell you it stinks.
I'll watch it at home.
But also, again,
can I watch it at home?
Close up here. Sure. Christian has been on record as saying, "I hate a feel-good movie." Those are literal quotes that we have on record.
Feel good is not the right word. I don't like pretentious movies that are obviously pretentious in the pretentious ass trailer with a pretentious ass name like The Life of Chuck. Feel good movies are okay. I like Remember the Titans.
If it's sport related, it's okay. All right, guys. Well, with that, we're gonna wrap it up. But
boy, guys,
we got a lot of things coming up. We're gonna have to go see Wes Anderson movies. And we're gonna have to somehow. We should take a poll and get people to start rallying to get Christian to go see this Life of Chuck movie. And then admit that he loves it at the end.
If you want to crowdsource this thing, let's do it, dude.
Cool. All I need is 2 people to get you the $6. All right. If I can fund $25, we can get him in there, guys. So, I can't even do this because we don't even have a Patreon. So.
I want to do. Yeah, we gotta figure that out. We gotta do the Arachnophobia watch along too.
Yes, we do need to do that. All right, big things coming up over the summer here, guys.
Alrighty, guys. We'll see you next week for, or maybe for not, Mission Impossible. But until then, bye.
See you guys later.